What's going on? What's going on? Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. And thank you for coming back for being on this social experiment show. We are going to have a show today with Mr. Ceasar Westbrook. I'm not sure if you all are familiar with Mr. Ceasar Westbrook, but he has been putting his stamp all over the city with his artwork, with his designing. I just remember having a conversation with this, meeting with this gentleman, being part of a book club. You know what I mean? I used to see him in the YMCA working out hard, all big and strong and doing this exercise thing or whatever. And I ran into a couple of different people and they were, mentioning his name and they said he would be a good person to interview. And then on top of that, like I said, I've been noticing and seeing him leaving his stamp all over the city. So I figured, why not give him a shot, call him on the show, get some information from him, get some insights from him, just kind of talking about his path and his journey up into where he is now, as well as some of his past and his growing up. So what we're going to do is we're going to introduce Mr. Ceasar Westbrook. Appreciate everybody for joining in. We are live on Facebook and on the YouTube. So if you are watching on YouTube, make sure you like, you subscribe to the channel, leave some comments. I'm also going on Facebook Live. I have that on my phone because I noticed I've been missing some comments. So we're going to try to have this conversation flowing nice and smooth. So I'm going to introduce Mr. Ceasar Westbrook. He is going to come on and he is going to join us for the conversation on the social experiment. So I'm going to add him in the room now. What's going on, Caesar? How you doing, man?
What's up, man? How you doing? I'm well.
I'm doing pretty good. First and foremost, I just wanted to say thank you for being a guest on the show, for giving me some of your time to have this conversation with you to kind of talk about some of the things. Like I said, I've told you and I've told every gentleman that I brought on here, we're going to bring this thing on. We're going to start having some good conversations. We're going to be building some relationships. We're going to be discussing some issues and things of that nature, but we also are going to be complimenting. I'm going to highlight you as a man. We're going to be giving out some love and giving some compliments. And I always start off first by asking everybody, like, what made you interested in being a guest on this show, or made you being interested in having this conversation?
Oh man, anything or any time that
Your sound just went out.
I'm sorry.
Your sound went out. You must have muted or something.
Oh no, hold on. Can you hear me now?
Wow, this keep happening to me.
Hold on. Can you hear me now?
I heard you when we sound checked, man. Hold on. And I even heard you introduce yourself when you came in here. You got what you got headset? I mean, you
Nah.
working right from the phone?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? No.
I need somebody to come in the comments and let us know if y'all can hear him or not. I'm not sure if it's me or if it's him.
I'm not sure.
Man, listen, what's crazy is I've been working on all of this new stuff and I've been trying to make sure I had everything together. I'm gonna turn my phone up and see if I can hear you. Say something. Man, listen, what's crazy is I've been working on all. Say something.
I can hear you.
I'm gonna turn my phone up and see if I can hear you. Say something.
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, hold on, I'm gonna have to figure. I'm about to just go from there. I'm just gonna go from the laptop. Can you let me. All right, hold on. All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Got you. All right, now we good. We good to go. All right, cool. That's perfect. So let me turn my phone back down. We'll get rocked and rolling. So again, back to the question that I asked you, sir. What made you want to be interested in coming on this show and having this conversation?
Oh man, anytime that I can, share my narrative or my point of view on things to help out somebody else, you know what I mean. I'm always down to help out and just share my story, because you never know what somebody else is going through. Their path might be sort of similar to yours, so they can always use your input and your backstory to kind of help navigate what they're going through too.
Absolutely. I appreciate you. Appreciate that and being willing to come on. And then my next question is going to be, because a couple people, was asking for names and things like that. A couple people threw your name out there. Why do you think that people are interested in hearing what you have to say today?
I'm not sure. I really don't know. Maybe just because I'm doing something a little different than what you typically see. And so, you don't. It's something different, like I said, than what people are used to, and so. And like I said, I'm always willing to share and talk about what I'm going through. But maybe, I mean, because I know from the outside looking in, if somebody was doing something in the city that I'm not used to hearing about, or I'll be interested in hearing about, I'm definitely going to tune in and want to hear their story as well. So I'm guessing that's the only their reason for wanting to hear mine.
Okay. Well, we're gonna kind of get into it. We're gonna kind of figure out a little bit
Bet.
more about you. I kind of did a little research, did a little digging. I see I'm assuming you're not from the Erie area. From what I found, you from Lancaster, correct?
Yeah, for
All right,
sure. Yeah, yeah. Lancaster, PA.
so how is that? First of all, because we're coming up here, living in Erie, we hear a lot about Lancaster or whatever, and then we seen some of the shows, so it doesn't seem like it's too much ethnicity going on out there. So kind
Oh
of take.
no, it's a lot. Definitely, if you going anywhere east, go to Lancaster, PA. You'll be very surprised. It's a growing city, very diverse, has a lot going on. My high school, very very diverse, class of 950. And so everything you could think of. So if you ever are in the area, Eastern PA, definitely try to slide through Lancaster, PA. They got a lot going on, sort of like Erie right now. They're doing a lot of development and just trying to spruce things up. Um, Definitely is what's going on back home as well.
Okay. So then take us on a little journey through your story. Like I'm gonna ask you, like, what made you interested in art?
Oh man, I've been doing art ever since I was young, and something that I always knew I would want to kind of pursue as I got older. And so, I was the kid in class kind of drawing when the teacher was explaining and going over things. I was paying attention, but I also, I had my mind on other things too. So, but once I got to school, I kind of knew that's what I wanted to pursue and go into. And that's kind of where it all started. Actually didn't even start painting until I graduated college. So it's kind
Really?
of ironic. Yeah, I didn't paint really until after college. I did other things. I did other forms of art, but I didn't really paint until after I graduated.
Okay. All
And so,
right. So then, like, as far as like being a young man growing up, you know what I mean? You got a diverse background. What was it like as far as art for you? Like, was there any challenges to that with that being an interest of yours, or did you have other interests growing up, like sports and things of
yeah, I
that nature?
was I was heavy in the sports, three-sport athlete, track, football, basketball. So I never really had a day off. It was rare when I got to come home right after school, because right after school I went straight to practice for something. You know what I mean? And once one season ends, there's another one that's starting, and so all year round I was heavily into sports. I even got friends right now that I've known since I was in elementary school. They even tell me like, I never knew you did art. You're like, I never knew you were into art, but they never got to see it because I was always in sports, and like I was really good at sports and stuff like that. So a lot of people thought that that's where I was gonna, excel and do a lot of big things at. And I did. I still did. I went to school. I was a two-sport athlete in college. You know what I mean? So
Really?
yeah, I was a dual sport athlete in college too. So outside of sports, though, most people would just connect me to sports, but then I also had a passion to do art as well. So that's where that came from.
Okay. So then, like, as far as like what you saying, excelling in sports and stuff like that, you was pretty much part of the in crowd and everything. So it really wasn't no like
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
he
So
want to do art and stuff
I
like that.
mingled with everybody. I was, I got along with every kind of crowd you can think of, and it kind of helped me too because I kind of, I just fit in with everybody. It wasn't really, I didn't really feel awkward in any type of, different scenario or different scene or anything like that. So it kind of helped shape me and mold me just to be more, vocal and diverse amongst anybody. And so like I said, it just kind of helped me out as far as growing up and things like that.
Okay. So then, like, when you saying multiple athlete, I mean, multiple sports, you being an athlete involved in multiple sports, like, you had to have something or somebody behind, or I can only assume so. So, what was it like in the household growing up for you? Like, did you have siblings, mother, like mom,
Yeah.
dad? Like, how was that?
I'm the oldest boy. There's five of us. I'm the middle child. So my two oldest siblings are my sisters, and my two youngest are my brothers. And so I was the one first heavily into sports, and then obviously right after me and my brothers. So they always trying to beat me and compete with me and things like that. So I had to set the bar. You know what I mean, and set the record with them. But it was very competitive household and everything. And then even my nephew, who wasn't too far behind us, he followed footsteps right behind us. And so, like I said, it's just a very competitive household, and very tight knit family, all still very close to this day, and it played a big part in my upbringing as well.
Okay. All right. So then, as far as like what was the structure as far as like parents? Like, what was the parental structure inside your household growing up?
Oh, they didn't play no games. I mean, they were fairly strict, but loving at the same time, and just supported us in whatever it is that we were interested in. Never really kind of steered us away from anything. If we were interested in it, they backed us, and I think that helped out a lot too, because you know I think as a child, especially now, it's just so hard to kind of venture off into something that's new or different that nobody else is into, because everybody's looking for approval now. Like no
Right.
matter what it is that you're doing, you need approval from everybody else before you actually put both feet in. You kind of got one foot in, one foot out until everybody else is embracing you in that element. And I never was like that. So, but I know to have parents that support you, regardless of any outsiders that don't, that overwhelm. I mean that overshadows everything. As long as your parents and your household support you, I can firsthand agree. Like that helps out a lot.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm a first and foremost, I'm gonna say I'm a mama's man. I don't want nobody to think like we taking away the love or overshadowing the mothers or anything like that. But like I said, a lot of these conversations I wanted to kind of like build with men and connect with men. And it sounds to me like, your father was involved in your life growing up. So how important was that for you? Like having your dad being there, backing you, supporting you, and like what type of person was he when the roles he played? Like how was he with you?
Oh, big time. He super super influential. He was the coach on some of my sports teams, you know what I mean? So, and then when I did play, in high school, he did the chains on the side. Like, so he was always around, he was always in the mix. He knew all the coaches. So like, even if I wanted to, mess around and, get off track, I really couldn't, because he going to find out about it anyway. You know what
Okay.
I mean? But he raised us right to not, really be knuckleheads and really venture off like that. But having him around was, very impactful, and just motivated us all the time in everything that we did, because that's just how he raised us. And my mom too. They didn't play no games. Like I said, they just made sure, you know whatever it was that we were into, go hard, do it to the fullest. And you know like don't hold back, and just do your thing. We got you. We love you. And I can't wait to see what you do. So that's pretty much what it was. You never really felt like you couldn't do something in our house.
Okay. All right. So then because that's it's very diverse around here. When I say diverse, we can look at that word both good or bad. Like everybody doesn't have their father, and some people have fathers who aren't really that active. So like then growing up where you grew up at, like did you see other young men or some of your friends who had, who were just living with their mothers and fathers weren't that active in their lives? And like kind of if you can, like what was the difference in what you saw versus what you went through and what you lived through?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think we all kind of experienced that, whether it's personally or through a friend or a close friend. Just maybe having the opposite of what you have at home. So maybe you are somebody who didn't have both parents. I'm pretty sure you have close friends who did have both. But for me, it just makes you very appreciative, you know what I mean? Because if you don't see the other side, you don't appreciate what you got, you know what I mean? So like if everybody around me had both parents, you're gonna just think it's the norm. You're gonna
Right.
that's what's expected, that's you don't think anything of it. But when like maybe half of your friends only got one parent, it's just like, oh shoot, like the way they gotta navigate through things is different. The way they gotta, just every little nuance in life is a little bit different for them than it is for me. And I was able to like recognize that earlier on. And the one thing, like, I mean, that kind of like says a lot about my dad is like a lot of my friends now, like he treated them like they were his. You know what I mean? And so if they didn't have a dad, they felt like my dad was their dad.
Okay.
I still got friends right now that feel like that about my dad. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, I think that's a great example of what it should be like in all of our communities and all of our neighborhoods and all of our, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's what it should be. I think that's where the saying, it takes a village, it comes from.
Absolutely. So even like when you say that, like, and I'm glad that you said that your father was that type of man. Like, how did that impact some of your friends or some of the young men around you? Like, did you have any friends that was like headed towards trouble when your dad kind of assisted, or was everybody in the athletic thing?
Oh no, yeah. I mean, and the other reason he was also involved too is because, like I said, he was like the coach on a lot of my teams. So those kids that were headed down the wrong path, he was able to have a more like personal reach to those kids and being able to pull them aside and talk to them on a different level. You know what I mean? So that was, like I said, he just, him being in that position kind of helped him be able to have an impact outside of our household, and just me and my brothers and my sisters. And it was good to just see that, because like again, that sets an example for us. So now that me and my brothers and sisters are older, you know, we knew how my dad and mom handled things. So now we see the young ones coming up, and we step in where we can, and we help out when we can, because it was done in our house with our friends and stuff like that.
Okay. All right. So do you have any children yourself?
I do. Yeah, I have three.
Okay, for real?
I have a son of mine, and then my girl. We have a blended household, so three altogether. But I have a son.
Okay.
Yeah, he's 8 years old.
Okay. That's what's
Yep.
up, man. So you said you have a blended household. So even that, like you even taking on the role as father, you know what I mean, or dad, however
Yeah,
for some other ones. How does that feel for you? Like, stepping up and doing that with them and for her or with her or
yeah.
together, I should say.
It's good. It definitely opens you up and shows you a different side of things, and just like it's a journey, man. It's crazy because in your kid, you see like the little like the behaviors and the mannerisms of you and your kid. You know what I mean? And so you can be like, man, that's me right there. Like,
Right.
like little stuff like that. But like when, for the other two, it's like I don't get to have that connection with them, but it's still fun to get to see them
Uh-huh.
kind of grow into their person and their personalities. And it's just funny because like deep down, I know I don't have anything to do with that, but it's still a cool journey to watch, grow and prosper. So it definitely still has its ups because there's things about them that I still get to apply to my son and vice versa. You know
Okay.
what I mean? So it works out.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So then, like, again, with you not being from the area, and I see you went to IUP. Prior to you getting IUP, like, what were some of the accolades or some of the things that you did? If you participating in three sports, somebody had to think you was good at doing something, or you. I hope you wasn't just sitting on the bench for everything.
Nah, no, no, no. I wasn't. Nah, I did like I said, track, football, basketball. I won states in track. I was a triple jump, long jump, and triple jump, and
Oh,
triple jump.
okay.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I'm a state champ in triple jump. I got my school record in that and in long jump.
That's
Um,
still standing right now.
Still standing right now. I got the
Okay.
triple jump record at IUP as well, so that's still
Okay.
standing as well. I went to nationals as well in high school. I placed third in the nation my senior year,
And
um,
what? In
and
triple
then
jump?
at IUP I went to nationals 3 times as well. Finished All American as well.
Dang.
Yeah, so I did track and football at IUP.
Okay. So like when you went to IUP, like did you play with any of the guys like Brent, Money, you know what I mean? Any of
Yeah,
them?
yeah. I played Dre, James Carson, uh, Money. Yeah, a bunch of the guys from up here from the area. I played with a bunch of those guys. So like
Okay.
James Carson was he was older than me. James was like a big brother. He was awesome, man. As soon as I came in, he treated me straight up like family. As soon as I got there, and it's even still to this day. Whenever I see James and Dre, it's the same thing. So the great guys. It was good to be around those guys, and they set great examples as well as far as being teammates and everything like that.
Okay. All right. So then how did you end up in Erie?
My son. So I relocated here for my son. So my son is what ultimately brought me here.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been here now for 8 years. Yep.
What's your thoughts on it?
I like it. I mean, I think every place has its little things you might not like and things you really love about it. I think the people that are from here and have lived here their whole life, they they talk bad about Erie, but I try to tell people all the time, get out of Erie, man. Just go somewhere else for even a little bit of time. Just say you experience somewhere different and then come back,
Right.
because you just get opened up and exposed to so much other things that you have grown up on and lived on for your whole life. You know what I mean? But I like it. I make it work for me. There's a lot of stuff that benefits me from being here. I love the fish, the lakes right there. You know what I mean? Like I feel like there's a lot of people that live here that don't even take advantage or don't utilize the things that the peninsula and stuff like that brings to them. And just like I don't know the fact that you are centralized to three big cities, Buffalo, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh. I don't
Right.
think people utilize that as much, and I definitely do. And so, like I said, in some ways you can think, the weather is terrible, which, it is for the most part. I like nice weather, and just like the overall, cold and everything like that. But outside of that, it's not too bad. You can find your goods in it as well. And so that's what I tend to lean on. I'm a glass half full kind of person, and I always
Okay.
think like that. I always find the good in something, and so it's not horrible, at all.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, I'm glad that you said that like that too, because a lot of us who've been born and raised here, we kind of have some some negative thoughts about the city. But so to hear an outside perspective, somebody who's coming here, and then especially with you being a black man, because some of the things that they've been saying about our city,
Yeah.
for you to still be enjoying it and taking advantage of it. And then even like when I say taking advantage of it, like for you to only be here 8 years, and then it's like I remember first, like when I first actually ran into you was at the YMCA, like you all, a big Stocky dude, you know what I mean? And then I kind of start seeing your name on Facebook and your art all over the place, and it's just like, yo, this dude really, like, I don't know who this dude is, but he's really stamping the city. And for you to like be here for 8 years, like, how
Yeah.
did that start for you? Or how did that even get the kicking off where you just was kind of like everywhere?
I just started doing. I think the very first thing I did was I just set up shop. I had a studio on 26th, no, on Peach Street. It's like the old Raven Sound building. It's right by Federal Hill. The little,
Okay.
it's right there. The big school. It's an old school.
Right where the
So,
Billionaires Ambitious Crew place is at.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. So
Right.
inside of there, I had a studio. There used to be studio space in there, and I had a studio in there. And one day it was kind of nice outside, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna set up shop outside. So I put up all my work along the building, which runs along Peach Street. And we all know Peach Street is probably the busiest street in Erie, so it's a lot of traffic all day long. So I put all my stuff out there, and I also was I was painting while I was out there as well. And so I got a lot of like recognition and stuff, people stopping and just talking to me from that. And then I did like one or two shows, and then from there on it just kind of snowballed, and I was just able to make little connections here and there. And I just wasn't afraid to kind of like step outside of my comfort zone and do different things.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how it got started, man. And I kind of use my situation and my story to kind of feed off to the younger crowd, because like I said, I've only been here for 8 years, and I feel like I have gotten off to such a great start. So when I hear, like, I try to tell them, like, you don't have to really be established like for a super long time to make your mark. Like you don't have to, because I'm living proof. Like I'm not even from here, and I've only been here for so long, and I feel like like I said, I've gotten off to a good start. So you can too. Like whatever it is that you're doing, if you really put your foot on the gas and really just go hard for an X amount of time, I guarantee you'll see enough results for it to switch in your mind. Like, yo, I can really do this. You know what I mean? Like, this really ain't nothing. Like, I can really make this happen. And who knows what's going to come from it? You know what I mean? But like, you got to have the mindset. You really got to do it. Like, we live in a time now. I feel like it's so easy to do your own thing.
Right.
It's very easy to do your own thing, and I feel like you really need to take advantage of this time. And I think obviously COVID helped to catapult that as well. You know what I mean? Like, everybody sitting at home, you got all the time in the world to master your craft and to up your game into whatever it is that you like to do. And so people took advantage of it. Some people didn't. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so like I said, I just feel like right now is a really good time to do your own thing and master your craft and become something dope.
Okay. And I'm glad that you said, when you say like step outside your comfort zone, because that's kind of what pushed me to do this. You know what I mean? To get online and start doing these interviews. And what's crazy is it all kind of started with me just asking different people about market strategies for real estate. And then my friend, Brent Thompson, he had got on here one day and just chimed in, and it kind of grew from there. So then, like, when you talking about stepping outside of your comfort zone, like kind of break that down for me a little bit. When you say like you stepped out of your comfort zone, because in 8 years for you to be leaving the mark that you leave, that means, I mean, it's possible. So I want to kind of get what's your take on that when you say that?
Well, like I said, I didn't start painting until after I graduated. So that right there was me breaking out of my comfort zone. Like, I had to break. All I did was draw, and then I did like woodworking and furniture design before that. So like I kind of like was like, man, let me see what this painting thing's like. Let me see if I can, make something out of it. So that right there was me just breaking out of my comfort zone. And then two, me living in a completely different element, that's another comfort zone I had to get out of. I'm in a new space, around new people, new environment. It was just a big adjustment. And so, but in the same breath, I'm like, well, all this new stuff, I don't got nothing to lose. You know what I mean? Like, I have absolutely nothing to lose. Like, I could literally do almost anything right now, and as long as I really try to make it something, I should generate some type of result out of it. And so, but yeah, that's pretty much how it got going, man. And like, I don't know. It's just sometimes I still don't really, I don't question it anymore. Like the
Uh-huh.
way that certain stuff happens, I just kind of let it happen and take care of
Right.
itself. And so, and it's like I said, it's been working, and I just, day by day, every day is
Okay.
different. There's still some stuff I don't understand. I don't have it all figured out, and I kind of like that though. You know what I mean? Like I don't think I would like knowing what tomorrow and everything. Like I don't think I would like that. I like that. Like none of my days are the same, and like
Uh-huh.
the most spontaneous thing could happen and shift everything that I got going on. I kind of like that because it
Okay.
kind of it keeps me like balanced. It keeps me on my toes. And
Right.
it's like I'm telling you, I'll go into a project or like a mural or something, and I'm like everything's laid out to the T, and like, you know, I think I know exactly how this is gonna go, and before the first day's over, it's all just not even what it's all unscripted from there on. It's just like, all right, here we go.
Okay. So when you did it, like, was you like, I'm putting it all on the line, I'm risking it all? Was it any steps of like,
Oh yeah,
did
I was. So that's the other thing. That's I lost my train of thought. I was working at Lowe's for like 2.5 years. So you got to think I had a pretty decent position at Lowe's at the time, and my son had just been born. So like I was getting consistent money. Like as obviously as being a parent and just like living in general, like a constant way of life is we all like to be comfortable. You know what I mean? So,
mm-hmm.
but I was I really really just wanted to venture off and do my own thing and see what I could do with this. And so I ended up quitting, and so to do my art full time. And it was a really like it was a jump. Like I took a
Were you
jump.
scared? Were you scared?
Hell yeah, I was scared, but at the same time I was like it lit a fire under me, like because you can't slow down now. Like when you do that, you can't be lax.
Right.
There's
Like no
nothing, you
days off.
can't be lax at all. You know what I mean? So like it forces you to be on your game and really crank it out and like figure it out. It forces you to figure it out, and that's what I did, and it was really probably one of the best decisions that I ever made, and and I don't regret it one bit. Like if I was put back in that same position, I quit all over again and do it all over again, like without hesitation.
What was the support like? Who was back? Like, well, not who, but how was the backing? Like, how was, or was you just like, man, I'm about to thug it out and I got to do it. I'm up
Yeah,
here in a new
no,
city.
support came from like everybody, like I said, my whole family supported it, even my close friends here, and I made sure I didn't just like I didn't quit without having a plan either. Like
Right.
like
Right.
some people do it and they don't have no plan as to how it's gonna go. Like I had a general idea as far as how I was gonna do it. By then I kind of had a little buzz as far as
Uh
my
huh.
artwork that I figured I could get rolling off of that alone.
Right.
And so once I quit my job, I had a lot more time to put into my art, and I was like, it's either gonna happen or it's not. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
I just let it go, and I just like I said, I wouldn't change a thing. I'll do it all over again.
So
So
was it like a certain dollar amount that you had saved up, or was it like you felt like your following was big enough to where you could be consistent? Like what? Or
that's what it was. I felt like my following was consistent enough to where I could stay busy for a long enough time. You know what I mean? And just like continue, the grind and the turnover. And like I got obviously like I made sure I had enough saved up as well to where if I did fall on my face, I was gonna be cool for a little while, and get
right.
a job or whatever it was. But I felt real good about it. Like I was like, because I have like projects and stuff laid out like for the next X amount of weeks or months. And I just at that time I had a lot of stuff laid out. I was like, yo, I'm gonna do this right now. I was like, with all the stuff I got, laid out and playing right now, I was like, right now's the time to do it. And it worked out exactly like actually worked out better.
Okay.
It worked out better. Other opportunities came, and I was able to do different things and stuff like that. So it all worked out.
Right. So then it's like, so now I'm gonna ask you because it's not a lot. I don't know, and I don't want to throw no shade at anybody who is, but I feel like it's not a lot of black artists in the area, not a lot of people who paint. And so then it's like, you come in, you got this new thing going, and you kind of like taking the city by storm, pretty much. Like, how does that feel for you to be like pretty much like a local celebrity?
It feels good. If there's others like Sheldon, Shelly Wap is his name.
Okay.
He's a younger artist. He's really good. Antonio Howard's amazing. He's another muralist and artist in the city. There aren't a lot of us though. There's only like maybe a handful, and I'm only saying a handful. Like the extra two, I don't even know who those people are. I'm just for the sake of it. I'm just saying there might be a handful.
Right.
But
Right.
it feels like I said. I know I've gotten to know a lot of people here, and I just it feels good to get support from almost every angle of Erie. And like, especially being a black artist, I feel like I get support from almost everybody, black, white, Asian. It don't matter who they are. And I think because, and like I said, I was also a teacher. I was teaching the past 3 years as well. So my
Oh,
reach
where
and
were
my
you teaching?
connections.
Where were you teaching at? My fault. Where were you teaching at though?
I was at McKinley for 2 years. I was at McKinley Elementary, and last year I was at East Middle School. And
Okay.
so, I like just being in that realm as well. I think every job that I did have kind of set me up to be able to do this in a very big way. You know what I mean? Because my reach and my connections and the people I know, and you know what I mean, it's very well rounded as far as the support goes. You know what I mean? I don't just have the support of the inner city. I don't just have the support, like I have almost every, like, you know, every realm or every aspect I can point to. I pretty much, you know, have made a connection, or you know, I've been able to make my mark somewhere. And
Okay.
I think that was kind of my goal too, is just to kind of see how many places I can kind of weasel my way into and just make my little stamp. You know what I mean? And see how far that goes.
That's what's up, man. I didn't even know you was a teacher. That's interesting. I got my daughter in here sitting with me, and when you said McKinley, she like, yeah, I know him. Like
Yeah,
she's
that's
sitting right
my.
here
Yeah, I
across.
know your daughter. She was my.
Okay.
Yeah, she was one of my best students. Honest, I'm
Okay.
not saying that because I'm on here either.
Oh, I mean,
Oh
good.
yeah,
I hope so, because she know what it is. But
yeah, yeah. No, she was awesome for real. She was good.
okay, so then like when it comes to, and thank you for that, like, but when it comes to like art, and the things that you've been doing, the things that you've been working on, like what are some of the doors that have been open for you, and who are some of the people who like you would throw around names wise that you've been in contact with because of your talent and because of your skills?
Oh man. Well, just like I've been able, as far as opportunities, I've been able to do like big stuff for like a couple celebrities, and like just like, you know, big name people, like a couple sports teams.
You got
And
some
things.
names for us, or you just signed a disclosure for that?
No, 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 no. So like I did something for Jim Jones when he was here. I just did something for Cleveland Browns wide receiver Andrew Hawkins. I just did something for him. Actually, I did it in April, but I just like put out the picture that I did for him last week. So
Okay.
he got that one. I
Oh
did
yeah, I remember
something.
the DC Young Fly show too. You
Yeah,
came in there.
DC Young Fly. Yeah, DC Young Fly. Who else? A couple Cowboys players. I did some stuff for them. Um, I know if I really think about it, I like those are the stuff that I really like. You know what I mean? Like that kind of keep me going and keep me motivated along the way.
Okay.
But like, yeah, a couple organizations. Like I did some stuff for the Bayhawks when they were here. And so, but that got me in contact with a couple like the NBA, like because they're just a G League of the NBA. But I got in contact with some people for the NBA and stuff like that. So, just little stuff like that. I feel like every
Little
little
stuff.
opportunity kind of plugs you in for and sets you up for something else.
You said little stuff like that?
I mean, like no, like those are really big opportunities. Don't let me say.
Right.
I don't want you to like take it the wrong way. Those are
Oh, we
huge.
ain't gonna let you take that the wrong way.
No,
That's
no, no,
big stuff,
no. Like,
man.
no, they're really big. I really appreciate and I cherish every single one of those opportunities because they're the ones that set you up for the next thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but I think in the same breath, I think it's important not to like sit on those opportunities too long. Like you gotta, all right, cool. I just did this. What's next? You know what I mean? Like
Right.
that's my mentality in everything. Like I did just do this. Like wow, I can't believe it. All right, what?
Right.
How can I top this?
Celebrate, get your little celebration
How
in,
can
and on to
how
the
can I
next
top?
one.
It's kind of like what athlete goes through when they win the Super Bowl, when they win the championship. It's like, all right, bet I won one. How can I win it again?
Right.
And like that's how my mind works as far as
Okay.
this goes. I'm always trying to top what I did.
Okay. Well, I appreciate all the accolades. We got a lot of information from you, and I want to kind of like change the gears into the conversation and some of the things that we've been discussing on a regular basis.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you, like, again, I'm gonna keep it on the art a little bit because I feel like, again, that's something that we don't do too much in our community with our sons or even with our daughters for that matter. So, like, what would you say as far as like encouraging us as people in general? I mean, as far as like art, encourage our children to be more artistic and encouraging our children to kind of explore themselves in other ways than reading and writing. Like, what would be like? Why is that a good thing in your opinion?
Oh my gosh, it's such a huge thing. There's so many kids who just benefit from having that outlet, from having an artistic outlet, from having a musical outlet, from having a physical, you know, just other than just sitting in the classroom and learning about math or whatever, man, there's some kids that actually come to school just because they get to do art that day or get to do, they get to sing or play the piano or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like that's their outlet. That's how they really, express themselves. And I think it's sad because a lot of school districts are trying to take that element out. They're trying to take those specials out of the school. And I think it's really like it's going to hurt a lot of the kids. It's going to hurt their district a lot if they were to go through with that. Because like I said, there's just so many kids that benefit from having those different types of classes. I encourage every parent and every kid to stay involved in some form of, there's so many different art forms. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's not, when you think of art, first thing you probably think of is paint. But like there's so many other like types of art
Right.
besides just painting. You know what I mean? There's and music and like there's just so many dance. Like I can go on. There's just when you like there's so many different forms of art. And I think once you really dive into it and you expose your kids, I think that's another big word too. Is like exposure. Your kids aren't going to find what they really like unless you expose them to it,
Right.
unless you put them around those things where they're able to explore and test those things out. You know what I mean? Because it could be that you never know. You never know what it is. So I, as far as if you're a parent, I definitely encourage you to kind of expose your kids to those different things, those different outlets, because if they're having trouble in any area, maybe that outlet kind of helps them deal with that and helps balance them out. And I see it all the time when I work with kids. Trouble kids that just can't behave in school, kids that have trouble at home, kids that don't have parents at home or one parent or whatever, and it's really just throwing them off. Man, you just put them in front of like let them draw, let them paint, let them dance or whatever, and it just kind of takes them out of that element and puts them in a different headspace and really balances them out. So I think it's huge and it's something that should be really explored on both sides, like parents and if you're a kid, like definitely stay in tune with it.
Right, absolutely, and especially like, I'm glad that you shared that, and I'm glad that you've been making your way around with art, especially what you talking about being a three athlete, like being involved in three sports, like a three sport athlete. Like,
Yeah,
did you have aspirations to go to like any type of leagues, and then because I mean you're not in the league right now, no shade or anything like that, but
yeah, right,
you're
right,
doing pretty good for yourself with art, and there's a lot of kids who think it's a NBA, NFL, or nothing type
or
of thing, as
nothing.
to where you was
Sure.
able to find a completely different way and very creative way that a
Yeah,
lot of us as black people, black young men or
right,
whatever, we don't even explore. So like,
right.
what's that like?
I'm glad you said that because you're right. We're so influenced by the people we see the most, and those just so happen to be athletes and rappers. You know what I mean? So, and the time when you're most influenced is when you are a kid. So think back when you were a kid. I guarantee you, who you looked up to was an athlete or a rap, or you know what I mean. It's something like that. Because the same thing with me. And so, um, I just I'm just very fortunate that I had something else that I was really into, and like that I was into when I was young, because we're all gonna hit that reality. Even if you do make it to the league, let's say you do make it to the league, that don't last forever.
Right.
It's a short career. I don't care what league you're in. It's not something that you're gonna play to you're 40, 50. We're not all time Brady. You know what I mean? Like it's a short lived thing. So you got to figure out what it is that you're passionate about outside of that sport or that you know that music or whatever, and figure out how you can maximize your potential in that thing. And
Okay.
so I always knew, like that's why I said I pursued that in school. Art was my major, but and like I was very successful in sports and stuff like that. But when that didn't go any further, I already knew, like, well, shoot, like I'm always gonna love art. I can be
Right. Right.
80 years old and I can still sit here in a rocker and I can bang some stuff out on the canvas. Like I know I can always do this thing right here. I don't have to be so physically able to do this, but it's also something that I'm really like that really drives me and like really motivates me too. So I think finding that thing outside of sports or whatever and really putting time into that as well can really help you out and take you a long way.
Okay. All right. And then like with that, like, I'm a huge advocate for mental health. I'm not sure if you follow that much or not, but like, and I've talked to my therapist about it, and she's told me like, maybe try some art and stuff like that. So then even like on the mental aspect, like how does that assist you if it does with, and first of all, what's your take on mental health, and what role do you think art does or would play a role in assisting with
Oh
that?
my God, mental health huge. Everybody, I don't care who you are, take care of your mental health, because um, it's it's probably the most important, you know, kind of health to have is good mental health. You know, I do, you know, I do what I need to do for my mental health. You know, I talk to people. You know, I listen to, you know, podcast. I listen to a lot of different things. I do whatever I need to do to kind of keep my mental health in check. And for those people who, you know, have trouble with mental health or whatever it is, definitely consider, you know, trying a different outlet like art. Like art is one of probably the most popular ones to kind of help with your mental health. It really is. Just statistically, it's one of the most frequently visited forms of, you know, mental health release. And so you never know, man. Like, and that's why do you think things like paint and sips or just paint, you know, like those little paint classes are so popular now? It's because, you know, it's become so big, and and the studies have shown that it really helps out with mental health. So I mean, alongside with, you know, if you have a counselor or, you know, a therapist or whatever, you know, don't be afraid to try out some stuff that you can do at home as well, like art or like, you know, trying out music or whatever it is that you like to do, playing an instrument.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you for that. And then even like, so I tell people all the time, like my questions be all over the place, but they all kind of tie into one
Not
another because
good.
going back to, you know, talking about working in the school, you know, you had some experience working in the school with, you know, different kids within the Erie community, and
Mhm.
with you not being from around here, like it's, I think it's important for me to get your opinion as far as like, where do you think we lack, and just on the level of like men, where do you think we lack on the level of being men within our community, especially with you working in the school and with the area or the neighborhood the school is in? Like, it seems like that is an area where a lot more kids, you know, kind of struggle with not having those role models and things like that. So what's your take on the men in Erie, Pennsylvania, as far as how we can be more active and involved, or however, whatever you want to say about it?
Well, I got a different perspective because I was in, you know, the actual classroom I was teaching. So most people only have one perspective. It's either, you know, outside looking in, or, you know, or your teacher, you know, inside looking out. But I have both perspectives, and I really can't narrow it down to just as men. I'll try to answer it as best as I can.
Okay.
But one thing I will say is home life, and like it starts at home, can't be said any louder. It's crazy. Like the stuff that I would see, or that you still would see right now to this day, falls so much on what goes on at home. And like, you know, it's it's just one of those things where like I don't know, there's so much I could talk about just because I've seen it and I was
Go
teaching it.
ahead, man. It's your
I mean,
show.
I don't know, I can't express enough about just being in your kid's life and just helping them through the stages of grade, you know, of grade school, because there are kids who don't get that at home, and whether you like it or not, the kids that don't get it at home, that don't get the love at home, that don't get the support at home, it will affect your kid because they are in the same classroom together. So it
Mm.
affects everybody.
Wow, I
You know
never
what I
even
mean?
looked at it like
So
that.
like I tell people this all the time. You can spend all the time in the world with your kid. You can teach them. You can talk to them as much as you can. You can't control what the kid next to them does at school, or how what they do impacts your kid. You can't control that. You can't. There's nothing you can do about that. You can't control who your kid is exposed to in the classroom, right? So the kid, like I said, your kid can be straight and narrow all day long, but if they're surrounded by five kids who don't get anywhere near that type of love at home, it will affect your kid.
Wow.
It will somehow impact your kid. I don't care what you have to say. It will affect your kid at home. It will affect your kid in the classroom. It will affect your kid in life. Well, it can be a positive or a negative effect. But whoever
Right.
it's just life, you know. Like whoever your kids are around in school, that's why I just encourage, like, if we can get more parents involved and just stuff like that, I think it'll really make a difference. And just, oh man, parents, start visiting your kids in school. Just pop up on your kid one day. Like, I'm not even joking. Just pop up. Don't even let your kid know you're going to school. Just pop up in the middle of the day. Just see what your kid's doing, and it'll tell you a lot about whether, you know. It'll tell you a lot about your parenting. I'll just say that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I
Wow, yeah,
really,
when you that's crazy. You say it like that. It pop up on your kid at school to tell you a lot. Not it will tell you a lot about your kid, but it will
not a lot
tell you
about
a
your
lot
kid. It'll
about
tell
your
you a lot
parenting.
about your parenting. Pop up on your kid at school. Don't it a random Tuesday at 11:15 in the morning. Just pop up. Just pop up. Poke your head in the
Wow,
room and see what they're doing.
I might
It'll
have to
tell
just
you a
do
lot.
that. She see my daughter face when I said that,
You
but
you gonna be all right though, cause she's cool. From what I know. But yeah.
okay, all right. So then, like, how do the kids take to you? Like, well, how did the kids take to you? Like when they seen you in the school, and you in the hallways or whatever you doing. Like, how did they take to you?
Oh man, great energy, great feedback. Obviously, I'm one of the few male teachers in the building, and then I was one of very few black teachers. And then you add them together, black males. Like I was the only one.
Right,
And so you got to think a lot of these kids, especially in the inner city, they don't even have a dad at home. And so um, the other thing is when you're a teacher, you got to figure how much time you spend with these kids. In some cases, I'm spending more time with these kids than their actual parents are or their dad is. You see what I'm saying? Whether regardless of what it is, regardless if their parents are, out running the streets or if they're locked up or, if they're working a lot, that's not even a bad thing. Maybe they just they're working so much they can't even afford to be home to build that relationship. And so in some cases I'm around the kids more than the parents are, and so they just gravitate towards me. I was very much like a father figure to a lot of the kids. They would come and talk to me about stuff that they wouldn't talk to other teachers about, just because they felt a connection and they felt some type of um, you know relation to me. And so and I let them express that. I made sure it was a very safe zone to talk to me about anything. And it's good to know that. It's good to let our kids feel welcome, because they don't always have that all the time. And in some areas of life, regardless if it's a job or if it's school or if it, a friend group, whatever, there's going to be some areas where you don't always feel welcome. So if I could provide that for them, especially at a young age where they're all so, manipulated and so, like everything affects them, if
right.
you can give them a safe space, I felt like I was doing my job and just, helping them out. I still got kids that I don't have or I haven't had in 3 years that still reach out to me and still hit me up and still, wonder where I'm at and stuff like that. That makes me feel good, So like, and that's good to know because we need that. We need to start supporting them and giving them the support.
Absolutely. So you're saying there's definitely a need for the black male teachers in the schools.
Oh my gosh, it's yes. Like you can't even express it enough. Like whatever we got to do, we have to. It just makes so much of a difference, man. Because, like I said, it's nothing against white teachers or whatever. But some kids just relate differently to what they see and what they're accustomed to. You can't control that. Like you can be the best teacher in the world. You can know how to properly talk to a kid. You can do all the procedures possible to go forth and try to help or cope with a kid. But like if a kid's not comfortable, a kid's not comfortable. And
Right.
sometimes all it takes is just like feeling or seeing that one person where you feel comfortable and it lets them be comfortable. It lets them be themselves.
So now let me ask you this, like, okay, because with you working, in education, and then you having some history, high school athlete, any college athlete. Now you're an adult man. Like, I want to ask you, like, how important do you think it is for our society for people to see us having this conversation, us as men first off, and I mean us as black men first off, and then just as us as men, just like having a conversation like we have it to where it's just flowing naturally and it's just kind of like all good stuff. Like, how important do you think that is for our community?
Very, I think it just, I mean, there's certain people who, I mean, it is what it is. They don't feel comfortable coming out and talking about things unless they see other people doing the same thing. And if that's the purpose behind all of this, then that's just what it is. We're doing a good purpose. But I think it's good to see other men, other people talking about these types of issues because it just opens the door for other people to have the same conversations and to find better solutions to a lot of different things that are going on. And I feel like the more we are having the conversation and the more people that are invited to the table to have the conversation, the more we are going to, be able to target the right answers and the solutions to those things. You know what I
Right.
mean? And it forms a tighter community and a tighter, bond between everybody.
Why do you think it's so difficult to have these type of conversations on a regular basis without it being like a trend or inspired or motivated? Like, why do you think it's so difficult for us as men to just say what's going on with us?
Because of how we were raised, to not express it, not like not be emotional, not express yourself. Don't like. It's just how we were raised. And but I will say, I feel like over the past few years or so, it's been more acceptable to be vulnerable and to be transparent. You know what I mean? And be, just to talk about what you got going on. You know what I mean? And so I think before it was just, nah, suck it up. Like,
Right.
hold it together, figure it out, whatever. But you can still do those things while being, you know, just talking about your feelings and talking about what's going on with you, and just being vocal about it at the same time. But you can do both.
Right. Right. So then like, and I'm glad that you kind of said that and kind of shifting it a little bit is like because I met you after a while, never really formally, but then I kind of was formally introduced to you, like linking up with Brandon and some of the other guys as far as like joining a book club. You know what I
Right.
mean? So it's like I know that you surround yourself with solid people. Like how important is that to you? And then for the people who don't know some of the people you surround yourself with, I mean, you don't have to throw no names out there if you don't want to,
Right.
but like as far as the characteristics and things like that, like what type of men do you surround yourself with to kind of make sure you on the up and ups?
It's funny because I say this all the time. I have like pods of friends. So like I got a really tight group up here of friends. I got a group of friends that I went to school with at IEP. I got a group of friends from back home. And I'm really tight with all those, all these groups of guys. But I always said like if I took one person out of each one of those groups and they don't even know each other and I could stick them in a room, they would gel. Like all my friends are the same kind of people. Even if they don't know each other, I can introduce them and walk away. I come back 20 minutes later and it'll be a connection will be made. You know what I mean? Just because my consistent flow of friends, they're all pretty much the same type of people. They all have a good mindset. They all have aspirations. They're all, great fathers. They're all, like just really dedicated people and just really buy into to doing the right thing. I guess that's the best way to explain it. And so I think it's essential to have surround yourself with the kind of person that you want to be.
Right, right. So when
If
we
you,
talk about some of the characteristics, like what are we talking about? How do y'all check each other? Like, how do y'all communicate with one another, you and your friends? Like, do you have any friends who will call you crying?
heck, any one of them, and I have, and like anything that's going, and it's not even like you don't even think twice about it, and I think that's a good thing. It's like if one of them did call me crying, I wouldn't even be like, why are you crying? Like, nah, I'm like, yo, what's going on? Like, it's cool. Like, talk to me. You're my brother, kind of thing, and like, we're gonna figure it out. Like, but it's not frowned upon to, like I said, be vulnerable at all amongst any of my friends and just talk about what you got going on. And so, we, I don't know, man. It's just I'm really fortunate to have the friends that I do have because we talk about some real interesting stuff, and some some real like self growth things, man, and just like always trying to better each other. We always push each other. We don't, if like if for instance, if I didn't put out no work or no artwork for like a month or two, I'm guaranteed to get a text from somebody like, "Yo, what's up, Caesar? Where you been at? Like, I ain't seen nothing. Like, you slacking? Like, like we hold each other accountable about everything. And
Okay.
so I really like that because you're not going to fail in any one of my group friends, and so I think it's important to have that. Find yourself some friends who ain't gonna let you fail or let you do stupid stuff, and just it'll help you out along the way, man. It'll really help you grow and develop, and I think it's necessary.
That's what's up, man. So then, like, even when you talk about that, like, and then when it comes to like having those closeness, like, do y'all brag to one another, like in a positive way, like a competitive kind of way? Like, I got this going on. I see you doing this. I'm doing this. Like,
Right? No,
talking
it's not.
about accomplishments.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't call it bragging. I guess we just whenever we do catch up and have long talks or whatever, we check in. Like, yo, what's going on? What you got coming up next?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, how can I help? Or how can like, and like I think that's the biggest thing. It's not like, oh, we're listening and then that's it. Like, no, can we help?
Right.
It's also that aspect too. And so because like
So
when
you
we
have friends who've literally asked you, like, how can I help you?
oh, for sure, like, yeah, absolutely, they'll, ask if they can help, who they can get me in touch with, who they can send, like, link me up emails, or like if they can help me set up, like and I don't even ask. They just, it's willing, and it goes both ways, because that's just how it should be.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? You shouldn't have to think twice to have, the support of your friends.
Right. We got somebody in the comments asking what book y'all reading. I don't know. At first, I felt like I thought I got kicked out the club. I hit up Brandon like, "Yo, what's happening? The group,
Nah,
me ain't going no more." And then he's like, "He ain't in no more either." So
yeah, we kind of fell back a little. I think everybody got busy. I know Jason,
yeah.
he started coaching, and he was the one who kind of was, keeping it all tight together. But it's still active. I think we're just waiting for things to die down a little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
Now,
Summertime, everything.
to
Everybody
answer
got a
the
little
question,
active.
I can't see the chat, or maybe I can. No, I can't
It's
see it.
on the YouTube. I'm looking at it on the YouTube.
I
can't.
got you. Now, but we read the Will Smith book. That was a great book. We read the Trevor Noah. His book was really, really good. And then I can't remember the third one, but then that was it. So we read those 3 over the summer.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I got in like the end of the Trevor Noah, and then on the what was it? No, what was it? Unfuckwittable or something like
Yeah,
unfuck
yeah, yeah,
yourself or
yeah,
something
yeah,
like that is what we
yeah,
were
yeah.
reading.
Mm-hmm.
Read something like that, yeah. But
Yep.
yeah, no. So I mean, it's cool. Listen, man, and when I was invited to that, I was happy just linking up with Brandon. And when I came there and seen all the people, and I'm seeing these faces, and I'm just like, yo, I know these dudes from Facebook. Like I don't really know them, but I know these dudes from Facebook. So
Yeah.
it's a good group of individuals to
Good
be
energy.
around. I'm like,
Good
I need
energy.
to, I need to stay around this circle. I need to be part of this type of stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that I got Jason. Brandon was one of the first people when I first kicked it off. Then me and Jason was on here. We was having a good conversation the other day, and now I got you on here today. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, and it's good. Like I want people to like kind of see us growing and kind of see us building because you're from a different place, than Jason. Like we've been living in the area all our lives, and I've never really crossed paths with him. And a lot of people get to the adult age to where they feel like they want to stick with the same old friends that they have. And I'm
Yeah.
learning just meeting new people. So like, what's your take on that when it comes to like the whole networking and building and being open and vulnerable to meeting new people and create new relationships?
I'm always down to help out and meet new people, because you never know what that person is going to bring to the table to help level you up. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I have a really solid. If I ain't gain another friend in my life, I'm cool. I feel like I'll be, I'm straight. But I'm also not opposed to adding to that. You know what I mean? You can always get stronger. You can always get better. And if adding somebody to my circle does that, why turn that away? Why reject that? And so, and it works both ways. Maybe that person could use something that I have experienced. Maybe I could share something with them to help them grow and bring them up as well. So, I'm such a social person. Like, I could be in the middle of the grocery store and not like, and I could start a conversation randomly between somebody, and it'd be a great conversation. So like, I'm just a very vocal person. I talk, to almost anybody, and um, like I'm always willing to invite people to the table and better each other. Iron sharpens iron, and gotta be accepting of it.
Absolutely. So then I'm gonna ask you again because, like I said, the very first time I ever seen you, the first couple times, it was like I think you were doing training in the gym, like you were working people out and stuff like that. Is that still an avenue for you as far as like the personal training?
Nah, I just like I said, because I was heavily into sports and I have a big sports background. I know how to stay in shape, and so I was sharing that with a couple people. I don't do it anymore. I just work out for myself to try to keep myself healthy and stay active and things like that. But I mean, I'm always down to help people out, and if they have questions, like, I'll stop what I'm doing to show somebody something or something like that. So, but
Okay.
I don't personal train or nothing like that.
Okay. So now I want to ask you a question, right? Because like I'm thinking about the mural down there at the you painted on the ground at the tower, right?
Mm.
So
Yeah,
you and I'm assuming some other people. I don't want to take any credit away from anybody, but I'm only talking to you, so I'm just gonna say you for now.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you were out there doing your thing, like, and you see a lot of people. Like my bro, he had a wedding up there. We got like, how does it feel when you see that constantly in pictures, or you see it in the This Is
Yeah,
Home commercials and stuff like that? Like that, your stamp is right there in Erie at one of the most popular places in the city.
I think that's one of the main things I like about art, especially murals in particular, is just um, you. So many people get to experience your work and be exposed to what you do, and that's goes back to what we were talking about earlier. That's one of those opportunities I'm so thankful for, because I did work alongside another artist, Raphael. He's from Germany,
Okay.
and so we tag teamed it and did it, and it's just like it's such a high volume, high traffic area, so many people go there throughout the year, and it's just like it didn't hit me when I was doing it, but like afterwards, and just seeing like, dang, like I'm super fortunate I got to do that. You know what I mean? Like it's just like it's crazy, like that. I'm attached to that, and
Right. You said it didn't hit you when you were doing it?
nah, like I mean, like don't get me wrong, like I was like, yo, this is a huge mural. Like I'm super grateful for this opportunity to do this. You know what I mean? Like this is crazy. Like I've never done a ground mural. I never did something this big. I like never in a location like this. Like so, it was a lot of like first times for me, like a first time
Right.
off the box type of thing. But then once it was done, and like a couple months go by, and like a year, I'm just like, dude, like I really like I did like I helped do that. Like it's like and like you said, you see pictures. I could be scrolling on any social platform and see somebody on it. I'm like, yo, like I didn't really realize it at the moment, but I'm so glad I was able to do that because like you know,
Right. Right.
it's a blessing, man. It's dope.
And then like to be from here, like again, like you're not from around here, so I mean, you probably know now, but like growing up as a kid, like that was always a place to go. And like you say, fishing, like I've been fishing pretty much all my life, so always going down there, like knowing how like historical that place is. People go
Yeah,
up there to take their kids up there, go look off into the water and stuff and all of that. Like, and I don't even know if you've taken this in, you know what I
yeah,
mean? But like you're a black man, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
you're a black man who left a stamp in the city of Erie, Pennsylvania,
yeah,
one of the most historic spots in Erie. And it's just kind of like no matter what, nobody will ever be able to take that away from you. And when I say
yeah.
take that away from you, I also want to say take that away from us. You know what I mean?
Us,
Because I
yeah,
feel like you
sure,
put that stamp down there. So I'll
yeah.
be proud to see. I'll be proud to
Every,
see the pictures
every
on there.
mural, every mural I do, I feel like that, and I'm like, I'm doing this for more than just me. And like, I'm gonna say it like this, like I'm not from here, so a lot of the stuff that I do, it don't hit me like it should. Cause like I be
Hmm.
like, damn, like I am making my stamp up here, I am making my mark up here, and there be a part of me that feels good. I'm like, I should be doing this back in my city.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, but at this, but and I instantly flip to, but it's cool because I'm doing this for my son, and he grows up here, and I get
Right.
to set the example for him. So when he gets to grow up and be like, my dad did that, my dad did that,
Right.
my dad did that. Like, so yeah, I'm salty that I can't do this in my city where I grew up, but I'm doing it for my son who will get to grow up and experience this and be attached to this too. So I'm doing this to set the example from my little guy, and so
Right.
I so it's for big, it's for way more than me.
Absolutely. Listen, and when you say again, like I be seeing that. Like I be so proud of you when I be seeing your work, or I see you post somewhere, I see some new artwork, like Ceasar Westbrook did this, Ceasar Westbrook did that. Then like, and I'm just like,
I
I don't
appreciate.
even realize how big. I don't think he realizes how big of a thing that he's doing because we were all born and raised here. So a
Yeah,
lot of us as young men growing up, we really don't see opportunity. Like we think if I'm gonna be painting something, I want my picture in the stadium with Bob and them guys, or we
right.
all think saving our game is something
Yeah,
for
yeah,
us to
yeah.
do. But outside of that, as far as us actually having some accolades or some memorable moments, like we don't have that. So to see you come up here and
Yeah.
leave that stamp is like, I'm proud of you, man. I love you for that. I'm happy
I,
for it.
I
Like,
I really, if like hearing you say that means everything, man. It really really does. Like I said, it means a whole lot. And like the relationships I formed up here, it just I'm doing it for them too. I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing it for the people outside of me, and because like I don't when I grew up, I didn't have anybody. There wasn't nobody like me.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm trying to be what I didn't see when I grew up.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So when I grew up, there wasn't no black artists. There wasn't no,
Right.
constantly doing stuff for people. Like, no, I can't even closely think to anybody who did anything like this. So
Okay.
the fact that I get to do this, I'm like, I want to do it my way. I want to freak it. I want to make it unique, and I want to and I want everybody to be a part of it. I want everybody to experience this. So like, that's why I try to, I try to be affordable. I try to, I try to be reachable for everybody. I can't please everybody. It don't
Right.
work out that way, but I try. I make an attempt.
So then, like, so you do like personal stuff, so people can reach out to you. Hey, I got something. Can you do this? Or and you
Yeah,
send
yeah,
them
yeah.
quotes.
So I do a lot of commission stuff, like people personalize stuff. I do a lot of stuff like that. I'm currently doing a bunch right now. Christmas is always a big time for me. I do a lot of Christmas stuff for people, like for gifts for the holidays and stuff like that. But yeah, I just like I said, I'm I got a big heart and I try to please everybody. It doesn't always work out like that, but I try to do something for any and everybody because there was a time where I just wanted somebody to, look at my stuff or like,
Right.
so like to let alone buy it. It's like obviously I've come a much longer way than that, and I'm much more successful than that. So a couple of things have changed, but at the end of the day,
So let me ask you, is it any stress in that? Because it's, I mean, again, like I've seen people who paint art and they just look so peaceful. Me have paint all over their face and clothes, but they just be seeming so happy and living so free. It's like,
yeah.
and then for you to be having working at the level that you are, like that seems like a pretty stress free thing,
Yeah,
unless I'm wrong.
it's no, it can be stressful. Don't get me wrong, for real, it can be. But I've learned how to work all that stuff out over the past couple of years. I think that's what else I liked about the journey too is, like I told you, I don't like having everything figured out. I don't like knowing everything, and so little things that I've had to figure out, like how to talk to people, like how to, just be customer service friendly. I do all of that stuff myself.
Right.
So like, it's not like I have a secretary who handles all the back end stuff, and I'm just over here painting. Like, no, I got to talk to people. I got to learn how to, communicate. I got to learn how to be business like, on time, prompt. It's so much stuff you got to really figure out. And so, it can be very, very stressful. It's not as stressful anymore because like I said, I did learn how to figure those things out. But at the end of the day, man, like it could be a long, crazy day. And then if I come home, it could be 12, 1 in the morning. And I'm like, dude, I feel like painting right now. And I'll go down and I'll go in my studio and I'll just like turn on some music and I will zone out and 3 hours will pass and I'll like, and it's like 20 minutes went by. And it's like, that's like, for me, that's like, you know, I'm in my glory because it's like, I ain't worried about nothing. And, I'm just like, I'm happy. I am free. I'm cool. I'm doing what I like to do.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I mean? So, like today, I was doing a bunch of stuff today. Like I probably did like 3 different types of paintings or something today, or at least worked on them today. But like later on tonight, I'll probably be on the same thing. And it's just like that's my escape from all the other stuff I got to do throughout the day.
Okay. All
So
right. So then, like, okay, so as I'm listening to you, you know what I mean, hearing a lot of the stuff that you have going on, a lot of the things that you have had going on and moving forward, like, I know us as men, like, we work so hard that we have a difficult time actually sitting down and taking everything in that we're doing or we've done or we've accomplished. So, like, now I'm gonna ask you, like, have you ever actually did your own personal inventory and realized how special you are, how unique you are, how great you are, and like stuff like that? Because I'm
I
listening. A lot of this stuff that you just said to me, man, you got a pretty solid resume, man.
I don't, but I've done it on accident. Like I've done it like so. All right, so one time I had to go find this picture that I did. I can't even remember what it was, but I had to like I was like, dang, I don't have it in my phone. I got to go back on my Facebook and find it. And I had to like scroll, and I was like, damn, I forgot I did. Dang, I forgot. Like, and it's like, oh shoot, like it's a reminder, and it's like it humbles you. It's like it brings you back down. And it's like, dude, you're doing. I can say I'm doing what I hoped that I was doing 5 years ago. So
Okay.
5 years ago, if somebody asked me, "What do you hope to be doing in 5 years?" Like I'm doing it right now. So
Right.
I can't say nothing. Like like there's
Okay.
not a lot of people who can say that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, and I take that into consideration too. Like that's a rare thing. Like not everybody gets to say that they're doing what they like to do at the level that they want to do it at. And so I just take that in and I just shut the hell up and I be like, keep doing it. Just keep working, dude. Just like,
I hear you.
you know what I
I
mean?
mean,
Like,
again, like from some of the stuff that I'm hearing you saying, from some of the things that I'm listening to, like you definitely deserve to be celebrated when you talk about, having that competitive spirit and being a young man participating in 3 sports. Like I know what it was like being a young man trying to participate in just one sport and
yeah,
then not have to worry about like some of the negative influences that were going on around me. And
yeah,
then for you to get those, those, you talking national athlete, you talking state athlete, then to go to college and play dual
yeah,
sports in college. That's something that does not happen very often.
yeah,
It's very difficult. And then for you to you take it to the national level there, then you get to the point where you relocate, come to a new city. Then you got your mark over here to where like it's people you're more known around the city of Erie than people who've been living here their entire lives.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And then you're talking about you linking up and connecting with athletes. You linking up and connecting with entertainers. Now people, everybody know, even if they just, oh, that's the dude who do the paintings. Like,
right,
you kind of famous around here. Like, so, and then like I said, even like painting that mural up there at that tower. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Being a black
sure.
man in the city of Erie and leaving a stamp or a mark, like I feel good every time I come. I look down, like,
Yeah,
yeah, old boy did this. Like
yeah,
before I
yeah,
actually knew who you was, like,
for
yeah,
sure.
the one dude. You know what I mean? And that's why I wanted to bring people on here too as well. Like get some men on here because I think a lot of us are so modest and we work so hard that we never really take it in. And
Yeah.
then, like I was saying, I mean, you do have your circle of friends, but it's not a lot of people telling us like, "Good
Great
job," you know what I
job.
mean? Congratulations,
Yeah.
like, and not congratulations,
Dude,
keep
I'm big
going,
on
but
that. I'm
like
huge on
literally,
that.
like congratulations on what you did, not
Yeah.
just a basic congratulations. I'm proud of
Yeah.
you, but listen, bro, congratulations, man.
Yeah.
You've like you creating history around here.
Hmm.
You leaving a legacy for your family.
Yeah.
Like you've been a staple in the community from your time at the school. You know, for the little bit of time that you did spend in school, there's kids connected with you. So that
Hmm.
says something because we know kids will tell us when we a mess. You know, kids will call it out. So like
Yeah.
from all the things that you've been doing throughout your life up until this moment, man, like I think if you haven't, like, you know, kind of take that in and you know what I
No,
mean,
I do.
realize that like,
Thank
man,
you.
I'm great, man. Like for real, like I don't
Thank
think we do that a lot. And I feel like us as men sometimes we come down so hard on ourselves at certain things or certain when we're trying to accomplish certain things that it's like when we don't get that one
you. Yeah.
thing, we so
We,
hard on ourselves.
yeah.
And I think
Sure.
like,
For sure.
man, listen here, you got a trophy case out of this world, my man. Like you
Yeah.
have a crazy
Yeah.
trophy case. I
Thank
would
you.
love to have your trophy case in my house. I would love to have this artwork or have these contacts and connections. You talking about Dallas Cowboys? You said Cowboys, right? Dallas
Yeah. Yeah.
Cowboys, Cleveland Browns, and then I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure you're gonna have some artists and I mean other entertainers looking for you as people. Oh, where you get that from? Oh boy, from such and such. So
Yeah.
like, and I know when I go on these when I end it right before I give, you know, I like to go on a little rant about people, man, and let them know like how proud I am of them.
Thank you, man.
I'm inspired by you. I'm
Thank
even, and we don't even have a personal relationship, but I'm encouraged by you. I'm motivated by when I
you. Yeah.
see your work, like I said, and then even that history, and then after getting this information and hearing how hard you worked for them 8 years to get to where you are, like I feel like I can do anything just from watching your work and
Yeah.
listening to you, hearing you share some of your story, man. And I
Thank
know I told you I try to keep these. I know you said 5 to 7. I don't know if you have something to do at 7 or not, but
No, I'm good, man. I'm
okay.
great. I'm good.
Appreciate all your time, man. Like, but like, do you got anything that you want to throw out there? Anything you want to add on to, you know, what we discussed, or any other topics you feel like we kind of missed on? Because usually people hit me back like, oh, I should have said this or I should have said
Yeah.
that. So I want to make sure I ain't leaving nothing out. Like,
No,
just
man.
want to.
I felt like you did a great job. All the stuff you asked me, I feel um, like I said, I try to share as much knowledge because I wish this was available when I was younger. You know, like I wish somebody could spill and just like help me out a little bit. But at the same time, I'm glad I figured it out the way I did. You know what I mean? So um, I'm just hopefully somebody out there can take anything I said and it helps them out even in a little bit of a way. I'm always reachable if anybody has any other questions about anything at all. Like I said, I'm a team player. I'm always trying to help anybody else win. It's not about me, man. And I think you're doing an awesome job yourself. Like I said, I was not very familiar with what you were doing as well until you told me, and then I looked into it. But man, there's so many people who can benefit from this and just getting their word heard from the general public. And I think stuff like this is very, very like important, you know. So keep doing what you're doing as well. Don't slow down. Don't stop because that's the same mindset that I had, man. I think all the years that I did do sports, it kind of all the things you go through, it kind of translates into your next chapter or whatever you got going on next. You know what I mean? So like the grind, the grit, the relentlessness, you take all those things, same things, and you just apply it to the next thing, and it's guaranteed to work out. You know what I mean? And so um, I want you to kind of do the same thing with what you got going on. You're a family man. You know, you got something special going on too. So definitely, I need you to also, you know, give yourself a round of applause because I'm pretty sure nobody else out here is doing what you're doing as well. So for sure, we appreciate you too.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. And yeah, like I tell everybody I've talked to, like I don't want this to be a conversation thing. Like we're working on some plans. We're gonna get together with, you know, some of the guests that we've had on and some of the guests we got coming on in the future because like I want this to be a thing and I want us to all kind of know each other on a level to where when we see each other, we feel comfortable talking. And then
Yeah,
when we are in certain environments, people see us talking and it opens the door for them to, you know,
sure.
talk more. So we're gonna continue to build on this. We'll keep growing. And like I tell everybody, like if I start slacking, I need y'all to keep me
Keep
accountable.
me
Like Buster,
accountable.
baby.
Yeah,
I
yep.
need y'all to keep me accountable. You know, like you said, I ain't seen no work in a while. Like I ain't heard from you. I need that. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
like I really believe in what I do, what I'm doing. It's
Hmm.
important to me. I believe it's important to the individuals that I speak to. I
Yeah.
believe it's important to the people who are watching. And then especially like I always say, like for some of these ladies who are you know what I mean, who need some male role models in their children's lives because everybody doesn't have a father for whatever reason. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Some of us have to step up and we have to be there. So it's good to be able to acknowledge some men who have done that, who
yeah,
are doing that, who are willing to do that more. And then I feel like as we come together collectively, it's gonna be less work for all of us to do together. But collectively, when we marching and we stepping, like
yeah.
everybody's gonna know what it is, and people kind of fall in order. So we're gonna have more meetings, we're gonna have more conversations. I got a crazy list of interviews. I actually think Brent, what's today?
Uh,
16th,
yeah,
17th.
yeah.
I think I got Brandon tomorrow. It's either tomorrow or Wednesday, but this week is
Okay.
filled. So I got some double headers coming up this
Oh yeah,
week.
that's what's
Yeah, I'm
up.
talking to a bunch of different people. We're gonna keep it going. I want to keep it flowing, man. But
Yeah,
like
why will be a good one, man. His journey is super dope. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, I got him once, but it wasn't like this. So I kind of feel like I'm gonna piggyback off some of the
Oh
things we
yeah,
talked about. And then like I'm seeing this dude all over the place, man. Every time I check my Facebook, I'm seeing Brandon speaking here,
mhm,
Brandon talking there. I'm like, man, we got to get this dude on here. I need to know
yeah,
what he talking about. We need to put him in front of more people than the people he's already in front of because
yeah.
like from the conversations I've had with him, he's inspired me, and he's
Oh,
motivated me. And I feel like a lot of younger black men could really benefit from that. So we gonna hype Brandon up way more than what he already is anyway. We're
yeah,
gonna keep
yeah.
pushing him
He's
out there.
he's doing an amazing job, man.
Right. And we all gonna keep growing and building together. But you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm gonna give you the last couple seconds. If you got anything you want to say, you know what I mean? If not, I appreciate your time. I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate you sharing your story, all the insight. I
Absolutely.
appreciate you for being a legend in my city that, you know what I
Oh,
mean? I really for real, like that
thank you,
that
man.
really
That
does
really
mean a lot to me, man.
means a lot to me to hear you say that. Like I said, I'm not from here, so to have that kind of impact here lets me know that, like, it's my home away from home, and I'm able to, shine light and bring people happiness through my gift. And even though I'm not from here, so that it makes it all worth it.
Hold on, let me ask you want to ask Mr. Westbrook any questions? No?
No,
No, she said she don't teach no more. You just got the headphones in. You good? You don't want to ask nothing?
no.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm
I
gonna
hope
let you
I
go
hope she's
ahead.
doing good.
Yeah, she doing good. She was telling me about her scores today. She got a test coming up, and she be letting me know when she getting perfect scores on her quizzes and stuff like that. So she
That's
definitely doing good. She on the eighth grade. She trying to figure out what high school she want to go to. So
okay.
that's where we at right now. We working our way through that.
That's
But
what's
she
up.
said one day I was telling her what I was doing, and she's like, I know how to do YouTube. I'm real good at it. I'm gonna help you. Oh yeah, matter of fact, she told me make sure y'all like and subscribe. She told me
I
I
can
got to throw that
subscribe.
in there as I'm doing the interview. I got to make sure, huh?
Yep.
Turn your post notifications on so when we come on, you guys know the social experiment is going on. Like
You
and
got it
subscribe.
down.
That's for my baby. She real big into YouTube. So I told her, I'm gonna let you. We gonna get together. And we gonna figure this thing out.
Right.
So
Sure.
I'm gonna put all the blame on her moving forward. If anything go good, I'm gonna give her all the
Uh-huh.
credit. When things, when it go bad and when it go good, I'm gonna give her the credit as well.
For sure.
But
For sure.
again, man, thank you for your time. I'm gonna let you go ahead and continue on with your day. We're gonna wrap things up in here and appreciate the conversation. I'm gonna be in touch with you. We're gonna stay in touch. I'm getting everybody's email and phone numbers and stuff like that because I'm gonna create a list. So I'm looking forward to working with you in the future. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to continue to highlight you, man. You just keep working hard. You keep grinding.
Absolutely. Deontay, I appreciate you, man, so much, man. Keep going. Keep grinding. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. You have a good one,
Yeah.
man.
You too. You too.
Right. All right, all right. So there we have it. We got some information from Mr. Ceasar Westbrook. I really appreciated the conversation, every single thing that he had to say. For those of you who did not know who he was, now we kind of got a little bit more insight on him. Like I said, this guy's been painting murals all over the city. So, you're gonna see his if you haven't seen his work or you didn't know it was his work, I'm pretty sure you're gonna know now. Check out his Facebook page. I believe his name is spelled correctly. I believe also he's also tagged. Check out some of his work. He said he gets busy with the Christmas work and things like that. So just make sure y'all reach out to him. He's been working hard. He's going to continue to work hard. He's played a role in our community already so far, and I appreciate men like that. I appreciate people being able to have those type of conversations. We're going to continue to build and continue to grow because, like I said, like I want to have a safe community, and I want people in the community who I know I'm going to be able to count on, rely on, and depend on. And I want everybody to feel that same way. So we're going to continue to keep highlighting these gentlemen, keep highlighting these fellas and talking to them, picking their brains, you know what I mean, and learning a little bit about them so we can kind of see who we need to be around and who we need to start kind of like talking to and dealing with within our community. And like I said, like I have a nice lineup this week. I believe I'm not exactly sure of the days, but I do have, oh, I might have my calendar right here. I do have Brandon Wiley coming up. I got tomorrow. I have Mike McAdory and Brandon Wiley. Then the day after that, I have Donald Heidelberg, Dapple Don, and Lone Sav, and also Mr. Anthony Easterlin. I'm waiting for him to get in touch with me and give me a time. Yes, cuz I'm waiting for you. Then I got Mr. Anthony Gilmore. And then I also have Corey Cook coming up on Friday. That's my schedule. Thursday and Friday is going to be kind of light because I'm going to be at the Erie Homecoming event. So for anybody who's familiar with that, make sure y'all check it out. Like I said, it's going to be a great opportunity to meet a lot of new people. We're going to get some good information, do some some networking, pass out some business cards, take some business cards and stuff like that. So we're going to keep the ball rolling. We'll keep having these conversations on the social experiment. We'll continue to grow. We'll continue to build. I appreciate every single person who watched and who is going to watch. Also, please make sure that you like and subscribe to my page. Share the video, share the page. What else I gotta say, baby? Turns on. You gotta say it slower. Turn on the post notifications. Y'all heard her. Turn on the post notifications. Like, comment, share the videos. And also, I have 15 videos that I need to upload from my previous interviews. I'm going to be getting those uploaded as well. So if any of your friends have been on here or any of your family members or loved ones or things of that nature, be on the lookout for anybody I've talked to in the past doing these interviews. Be on the lookout for anybody I'm going to be talking to in the future. And then be on the lookout because one day I'm going to have my baby come on here and she's going to get in front of this camera and she's going to grab this microphone and she's going to let us know how she feel a little bit too, so she want to manage me. But in the meantime, in between time, I want everybody to have a good rest of your night. Take care of yourselves. And again, thank you for being a part of the show. Mr. Ceasar Westbrook, thank you for coming on. We're going to end it now, and you guys have a good night. Thank you.